Today we're going to be making some tangzhong bread. What is that, you might ask? It's a bread that starts with a root, kind of like sourdough bread or something like that, but yet it's something that we can make right now, tonight, and we're going to put it all together. What is the benefit? It tastes better. It's lighter, it's fluffier, it's just overall better bread that's going to last, stay fresh for days longer. It's the best bread that you ever ate, and we're going to make it easy. We're going to show you how to do it. Stay with us step for step, will you? Okay, the first thing we want to do is start out for a root or a starter. Kind of like say like sourdough bread, you have to have that starter. So we're going to start out with that. And the way we're going to make that first, we're going to start out with 2 tablespoons of water. I'm sorry, 3 tablespoons of water. It's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of just regular milk. 1, 2, and 3. Might be a little over, but it'll be okay. Okay, next thing we want to do, we're going to add some flour. Now the flour we're going to use is King Arthur. It comes highly recommended. It's all-purpose flour, so it's not going to have any kind of bleach in it. It's not going to have any kind of baking soda, nothing in it, baking powders or anything. It's just some good bread flour, and we want to use 2 tablespoons of this. Okay, now I'm going to move this over to the stove. So we're done. We put this on a medium heat. Just not very high. We got to just keep constantly stirring the bottom as it gets warm. Got stirred in a little bit there, so we're going to let it heat up just a little bit.
Got
it. This will kind of remind you of making gravy. But it's going to go to a consistency more like a mashed potatoes, a creamy mashed potatoes consistency. Just keep stirring the bottom as it heats. Makes me tempted. I add salt and pepper, you know. I'm used to making gravy. Just keep that stirred around. You can tell now it's starting to get a little sticky. Oh yeah, it's doing good. Let me get it stirred a little faster here. It's okay. This is what we're wanting. Now look at it. Starting to look like mashed potatoes, right? Do not want it to burn. Now what do? We don't want it to burn. Getting a good consistency there. Scrape that bottom real good. Okay, that's about what we want right there. Okay, we're going to take this off the heat. We're going to let it completely cool down. 100% cool down. And be right back. Okay, we put a half a cup of milk in a saucepan. We're going to bring it to a boil. Then we're going to cool it down to 110 degrees. The reason we're going to do this, there's stuff in milk that we want to get out of there. That's going to mess with our yeast, mess with our rise. We want everything to be perfect, so we're going to boil this milk first, cool it down, and we're going to get started making our yeast. We're going to get a 1/4 cup of butter ready. We're going to cut it into very, very small, thin slices, so it will get room temperature quicker. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I like doing it this way. Okay, now we're going to get our dry mixture ready. We're going to do 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That's 1. 2. We're going to hold back a cup for right now though. We'll put our butter in. A lot of people don't put the butter in till last, but we're going to go ahead and put it in there. We're going to put in 1 egg. We're using fresh eggs from Tammy and Vernon Prater's farm. Put that in there. Okay, we're going to whisk this just a little. Get that down in there. Anytime you're using fresh eggs, you want to break them in a bowl first. Make sure you don't get any shells or anything in it. Okay, we got a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to get all that in there, and like I said, we're going to hold back a 1/2 cup for now with the flour, and we're going to get our yeast mixture ready. Get that poured in there. And once it gets in, I'm just going to turn to the opposite side. Get that stirred up all in good here. Get a good mixture. Make sure it's all dissolved inside. All right, down good. And we're going to give this about 5 minutes. Let it set up really good. We'll be right back. Okay, see that froth, the way it's starting to bubble up just a little bit like the top of a milkshake or something? That means our yeast is good. Now, a lot of people will tell you just to add the yeast in as you're adding everything, but I'm always afraid that maybe the yeast is bad and it's not going to take. This yeast here is looking good. It's starting to bubble up on top, suds, if you'll have it. So this is looking good. We're getting ready to add it in. Okay, now it's about to get fun. So what we want to do, we'll make a little trough in the center of this. So what we want to do first, we're going to go ahead and take our yeast mixture, pour it right into that. Look at that. Don't that look good? We'll make sure we don't miss any and get it all in there. I've seen times that I had to try a couple times just to get the yeast to take, especially if you buy a cheaper yeast. So it's better to go ahead. Yeast is not expensive anyway. Just go ahead and just get the better yeast. Now we want to take our tangzhong root. We'll add it right in there. Don't they just look delicious? Looks like some kind of vanilla ice cream pudding or something. Or mashed potatoes. That's what it looks like. I'll try to get as much of this as I can, because this is measured in proportion to how much flour we're using. Using 2.5 cups of flour, so we're going to use 2 tablespoons of the mixture with the milk. Now, what is tangzhong for? What good is it? Why does it work so good? Well, to keep bread fresh, it's all about water. If you lose water out of your bread, then it's going to dry out. It's going to let too much air in. Your bread's not going to be as fresh. So with this mixture, it's actually trapping the water molecules in the mixture, in the root, to where it's going to stay fresh longer. It's going to fluff up better. So it's going to be such a better texture of bread. All because the chemistry part that I don't understand so good, all because all this is working out this way to make all this just work up better. Now, the last thing we want to add is a teaspoon of salt. And we add our salt last because we don't actually want it to start working until we're ready for it to work. Let's put that in and we'll start getting it mixed up. We'll start our mixture on about number 2 on the KitchenAid. Get that started getting mixed up. Keep my eyes on it. If we have to add the extra flour in, we'll do so. We want to get this mixed in first. As you can see, that's starting to look really good. And it's mixing faster now, which means there's less pressure on the mixer. So that's all starting to stir in really good. So I'm going to scrape it down one time. Okay, looks like our mixture's good. So we're going to knead the dough with the KitchenAid. I'm going to lock it down. I'm going to run it on about number, let's run on number 4 for just a few minutes. I might back it down to number 2. Just run it just for a few minutes there. Then I'm going to flip it over and knead it again from the opposite side. And we'll be right back. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes, so we're going to flip it over. Look at this dough. Look at that. Does that look good or what? Get that out. We're just going to flip it over. Put it upside down. Put it back in there. We're going to knead it a few minutes longer. That's looking good right there. Now remember, if your dough is too dry, add just a splash of water. And if it's too wet, add just a little bit of flour till it gets to a perfect consistency like you see right here. And that is absolutely perfect right there. We're going to let that go about another minute or so, and then we're going to test it. Okay, now let's test this. Let's see what it looks like. What I'm going to do, we just want to get a hold of it. All right, it's breaking too easy. See that? See how easy it's breaking? So, it's not ready. What I'm going to do, I'm going to scrape it down. So we got to do the window test, it's called. Scrape this down, we're going to get it ready to go again. So what it's got to do, it's got to build up the gluten to give it an elastic texture to it, to where it'll be stretchy without breaking. And you got to kind of just beat it to death to get it to do that. You got to knead it and get those glutens built up to where it's going to be absolutely perfect the way we want it. Okay, now let's try this again. Now the point about making bread is patience. Look, this comes completely off the hook. Now that's what we want the bread to be, right? Off the hook. All this together. Now what we got to do, look at this. It's like playing with Play-Doh. Look at that. And we got to be able to get this so spread so thin that we can almost see through it. See my finger right there? So that's looking good, right? What do you think, Jessica Ann? See my finger?
You're getting really
looks
close.
Good. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. So we're going to take this out of the pan. Okay, we're going to put just a little flour down right here. It ain't going to take much, because when you do the tangzhong bread, it's not as sticky. So we just want to kind of roll it into a nice little ball here. Look at that. That's straight out. It's not sticking to my hands. I'm going to get a nice little ball out of that. Now I've got a bowl that's already pre-greased. Spread it down with olive oil. Put that in there. Turn it around a couple times. Now, we're going to cover this, and we're going to let this sit for about an hour, and it should at least double in size. Okay, this is how we're going to let this rise. We're going to put it in the oven, a cold oven. And I've got some water that I had boiled in a pot that I'm going to set beside of it. Make sure the oven's not on, and just close this up. I got the timer set for an hour. We'll come back and check it. Okay, a timer just went off for an hour. Let's see what we got here. Ah, yeah. That is at least doubled in size. this over here. We're going to press it down. Look at that. Look how easy that is to work with. I don't know if you're having that kind of luck with your dough mixture, but look at that. Press this out. Cut this pretty much in half. I don't need it under itself. Any air bubbles, I'm going to squeeze those. Here are those air bubbles. Do this one the same way. Okay, we're going to cover these. Some paper. We're going to let them sit for approximately about 10 more minutes. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. We've let our mixture rest. What we're going to do is going to take one. Get us a roller ready. Look at that, it's so pretty. Take and we're going to fold in each side. Turn it over. Fold in the sides. Mix it all together. Now we got just a regular bun pan. Put one there. Okay, our timer just went off, so let's give this a check here and see what it looks like. Oh my goodness, look at this. Wow. Look at this, Jess.
That's huge loaves of bread.
You think that worked?
Yeah.
Tangzhong method.
That's what it was supposed to
It's like
do.
magic. Look at that.
That's what it's
Okay,
supposed
we're going to
to
get this
do.
brush down with some egg wash. We're going to just take just a simple egg wash and put on it. Don't want to overdo it. I had thought at first maybe we didn't have enough of the dough product, but wow, I mean, just look at that. Okay, we're just going to go at 350. We'll get that heating now, and we're going to see what it looks like. We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to check this. We set the timer for 30 minutes. It's been about 22, 23 minutes, but I just checked and it's looking good. I want you to look at this right here. Look at that. Tangzhong white bread or Japanese milk bread. Listen to this. Sounds good, huh? Let's cool it off, then we're going to try it. Now, if you remember back in the video, what this looked like when we first started, this was all the way down here. There was one on this side, one on this side, and it's raised up that much. And we made a lot of yeast bread before, but nothing that's done anything like this, like the tangzhong method has done for this, man. It's just amazing. I can't wait to break it apart, check it out. We'll be right back. Okay, see if we can get this out now. Look at that. We're gonna let that cool off just a little bit more. Look at that. That's just pretty right there. Okay, folks, it's been just a few minutes here. I want you to see this. You ready? Wow, look at that. Look at this. If you remember what we started with, this what a small amount of flour we had to start with. Look at that, would you? I gotta try this bite. Man, that is so good. I'm telling you what's the truth. That is so good right there. You know, I'm just gonna slice a piece of it. Get a slice of it cut off. Look at that. That is good bread right there. Look at that. Tangzhong bread. I'm gonna put some butter on it. I'm gonna eat this. If you like this video, we ask you to please push that like button. Follow us. We try to have a good video at least once a week. And try to share this with everyone. If you like, look at this. Watch this. Springs right back up. Push it down. It's coming back. If you think you'd like this, then follow it step by step. Everything that we showed you is exactly how we made this. Follow it step by step, and you're going to love it. And the taste is magnificent. It's going to make great sandwiches, great French toast, anything you want to make. This right here will just be perfect for it. But to follow us and give us all the likes and shares that you can, and push that follow button, and hope to see you next week on Cooking with the Word. We ask everyone to try to attend church as much as possible, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Till next week, it's Mike.
Jessica.
We'll see you.